Apparently, having a bowel obstruction is a lot more dangerous than I thought it would be, which should have been obvious because if your bowels explode, it doesn't end well for you or anybody around you. Also, hi, I am back home, and I slept for 12 hours after I got back from the hospital, and I thought it would be a good idea to post a video that bridged the gap between me being in bed at a hospital and then going back to normal content, which I feel would have been a little jarring at best. And this particular trip to the hospital, because I've had a few now, was weird, to say the least, you know. And it was weird because, well, probably for obvious reasons, and I'm not going to beat around the bush, it was the most crowded I've ever seen an ER, period. There was so many people in there. Every bed was packed. Doctors were running around. Nurses were running around. Everyone looked stressed and haggard. And in a weird way, when they came to me and they saw that I had a normal thing to deal with, you know, I think they were relieved because it was like something that wasn't COVID related and it seemed seemingly normal, and they were very nice to me, and they were just like really, really sweet in the ER. Especially the doctor who was there was just like really kind and understanding. And I almost felt bad because I was like, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to come in anyway because I didn't know if it was going to be a problem. But they said they were glad I did, and this is how I know the bowel obstructions are extra dangerous, is because they said if I waited, that's usually how people die from bowel obstructions. I wasn't in any danger of dying because I came in way early. It's usually people that have these kinds of pain for bowel obstructions and they wait like a day or 2 days just to go in. Like if you've got some weird stomach pain, go see a doctor. Like it's probably nothing, but it could also be your intestines exploding. Also, my NG tube placement was very interesting. I'm not trying to call out anyone, you know, because an NG tube is not fun. If you've ever had an NG tube, it is not a pleasant experience. What they do is they shove a tube that's maybe about a 1/4 inch thick through your nose, down the back of your throat and into your stomach, and it's apparently for putting things into your body and taking them out. When I was in the hospital this time, they did both, but the process by which is very, very painful. And you know, they'll dose you up with morphine at first, but even so, just having someone crack the back of your sinuses to get this tube back there and then shove it down your throat is not fun. And for me, it was especially not fun because the first time that it went down, or the nurse tried to get it down, it went into my lungs. Now let me tell you, getting a lube covered plastic tube shoved into your lungs ain't fun at all. And it was, I felt so bad for the nurse. Oddly enough, like I felt bad for the nurse. Like, you know, she shoves it down into my throat and I'm just like, and she pulls it out a little bit, not all the way, so it's like still in my nose, and I'm like, I think that was in my lungs. And she's going like, no way that was in your lungs. And I'm like, well, listen, lady, I'm not gonna sue you or anything. Like, I'm just telling you, I'm not an expert at the inside of my lungs or how that feels, but that went in my lungs. But the trooper that I am, so I'm like, all right, let's do it again. Cause last time I did this, you know, there's the water drinking trick where you usually just like, as it's going down, you swallow water so that it definitely can go down in the stomach. This time we didn't do that. I'm not 100% sure why. I think it's just like they didn't want me to add anything else to my stomach. But that being said, every time she shoved it down without water, it was just straight into, just like straight into my lungs every single time. I felt bad for them. Very painful experience, but at the end of the day, I'm just like, you know, whatever. It's what you got to do to get it done. Like, the treatment is what it is. You got to suck out the food that I've eaten so it doesn't explode my intestines. I get that. And I'm like, I'm prepared for it. I've done it before. I'm ready. I forgot how much that sucks. They had to pull it all the way out because the third time I was like, well, let's back up a step. Let's take a little breather, you know. But then I said, okay, I'm ready. And then we went back down to water drinking trick and went right back down. But man, you forget how bad an NG tube is after it's been like 5 years. That sucks. It's not like it's the most painful thing straight up. It's just that it never goes away. So like, imagine you have something stuck in your throat and you're trying to swallow it down, but it's always there. And it runs from your throat all the way top to bottom out your nose. And then you got this thing in your nose that's constantly like rubbing in the back of your sinuses, burning every time you breathe. It's just very unpleasant. Your eyes are constantly, the nostril that it's in is making this eye constantly like water. That's why in the video you saw me, I was just like crying out of this eye. It's not because I was sad, it's just because literally I had something shoved in my sinuses. So eventually you'll get used to it. Like, it takes like a day of just like, oh, I can't swallow. Oh, I can't breathe, you know, it's just that. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, look, whatever it takes to get it done. They were great at the hospital. You know, I got to give the biggest shout out in the world to the teams that are working in hospitals right now, because I can't imagine the stress. I just can't imagine the stress. I really, really cannot. And you know, there's normally a lot of stress to deal with that job, but especially now, like healthcare workers, they are going through hell. Absolute hell right now. Like, it was scary when I was in there, and I can't imagine going back to that every single day, or however many days you work, and going into that every day. Like, just... God, we got to do more for them, you know? That's why I was always just like, I got to be as nice as I can be, because I don't care what kind of thing they're got to put me through. Like, I'm not going to complain once. And I didn't. Like, I'm not a complainer. So I didn't mind waiting for tests. I didn't mind anything like that. And my waiting was thankfully very entertaining, because I had next to me the most complaining patient I've ever experienced in my life. Sounded like a sweet old lady, straight bat out of hell. You ask any nurse about a nightmare patient and you can get an idea of what this lady was all about. Constantly ringing the nurse button. Like, made it so no one else on the floor could get any help, because she was just constantly like, hello, I need some help. I need to go to the commode. I need 2 people to lift me. If we can get more, that'd be fine. I was like, I don't know what this lady looked like. It seemed like I didn't know what was wrong with her. I didn't know what was happening to her. It was like she must have gotten into some kind of pretzel folding machine accident or something like that. She was twisted up and couldn't move or anything, but she was also fragile as glass. Like, I don't know, if anyone touched her, she'd scream. And I get it, like, you're in the hospital, you're in pain, you're here for some reason, obviously. But I just was like, oh my God, every 5 seconds. And when she came back from surgery, it was constant, like, just like, I'm confused. I thought I was going to be in the recovery room. I'm supposed to be in the recovery room. And it's like, you were in the recovery room. Now you're in your normal room. He's like, no, I'm back in my normal room. Can you turn my bed? Can you turn the IV so I can see it drip? I don't think it's working. Is it dripping? My arm feels wet. Like, just beep, beep, beep. Like, I was trying to be as nice as possible. The only thing I had to tell the nurses was when I had a bowel movement. That was the only thing I had to tell them. So, like, I get to, in between her, I get to ring the bell, and it's just like, hey, good news, this is Mark from 828 here. I had a bowel movement. God. You know, it was so weird having the internet celebrate me having a bowel movement. I can't believe, I knew it was going to be kind of like that, but I had no idea it was like, you guys are going to make a trend on Twitter or something like that. I was just, hey, poop. Anyway, like, I could talk forever about it, but I won't. But I'm back. I had a experience at the hospital, but you know, the whole staff there was so sweet. Even the poor lady, like, I feel bad for her that was shoving the tube in my lungs. It's just like, I didn't blame her at all. I don't blame her. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. Obviously, she hated doing it because she could see how much pain it was causing me. But you know me, I'm just like, I can take it. My body can take it. Like, it's okay. Just don't shove it in my lungs like that. That'd be appreciated. Like, if it's all right, you know, if it's not procedure, I'd like it not in my lungs. Anyway, I could go on forever about it, but I'm back home. I seem to be good. I'm going to take it easy for like a week, but that doesn't mean the videos are going to be taking it easy. I'm still going to be making videos, but I'm on kind of like a soft liquid food diet for at least a week now to make sure everything goes away. And if it does come back, then I'll probably need surgery, but I'm hoping that I won't, because obviously that would be unpleasant. I'd rather not do that, and it'd put me out of commission for a while. So I'm back. Videos will resume. Thank you everybody so much for watching. There'll be a follow-up video pretty soon about how I'm an asshole, but that's a story for another day. So, well, you'll see that one. That's coming next. But right now I'm fine. So thank you everybody so much for caring, and thank you for all the well wishes, and thank you for all the memes. God, the memes from this hospital trip are funnier than anything I've seen in a long time. Just really funny memes. Really funny. You guys are so fucking funny sometimes. Anyway, I gotta go. So, I'll see you around. Bye.